Have you
Weird
said the
on them.
words, "I'm Batman" yet?
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mr. Keaton, this is a real honor for me. You were my hero growing up as a kid, man. So seriously, I really appreciate you fitting me into your schedule.
Thank you, Jake.
I'm going to jump right into this. I'm going to start with the protege. Over your career, you've played a variety of heroes and villains, and you've played characters that don't really fall into either category. And I was wondering how the variety of characters you've played affect how people approach you on the street in different periods of your career. Did people approach you differently after Spider-Man than they did Batman? And then how do you think people might approach you after seeing this character?
That's a great question. I'd have to think about that. Yeah, they probably do. But you have to factor in like the math of things, certain things that play internationally, there are more people. And so there are, the impact, of the really big stuff, like playing Vulture in Spider-Man and playing Batman or playing when that's current, obviously just the numbers, the amount of eyeballs watching stuff. So people will come up to you based on that. But then I'm always surprised where, someone will come up and specifically mention certain something in a movie. Like a lot of times in Europe, well, here too, but you're like Multiplicity.
I love Multiplicity.
Yeah, I love Multiplicity too. I loved it. I loved making it. It was really hard to make. Try to make that, I just did The Flash, and there's a similarity in how, I don't want to give too much away, but how he has to play against himself and with himself. And we were talking about the difficulty of making Multiplicity and the challenge. Anyway, so yeah, it kind of varies, and it kind of depends on where and how, and certain people when they see certain movies, men love My Life, believe it or not, because it affected men a lot, and guys are supposed to be tough and macho, and guys will come up to me and tell me these personal stories about how moved they were by that movie. Depends.
That's fantastic. Oh my God, so many movies I could talk to you about. You did mention The Flash. So before I swap over to Worth, I do want to talk to you about that because I never thought I'd ever get to ask you about returning to the role of Bruce Wayne and Batman. And I was curious, when you put that suit back on, when you put the cowl back on after 30 years, what's going through your head and what sort of memories does it bring up when you put it back on?
It was shockingly normal. It was weird. And I went, oh yeah, that's right. But also then you start to play the scenes, it was a lot of memories, a lot of memories, a lot of really interesting sense memories actually.
Like
fun.
muscle memory?
Huh?
Is it like a muscle memory?
Yeah, actually.
Have you
Weird
said the
on it.
words "I'm Batman" yet?
I can't hear you. We're having a
An IFB issue? I hate when that happens. Have you spoken to Mr. Burton?
no.
No.
But just because we haven't, because we got other stuff to talk about.
Fair enough. As we wrap up, whether you look at what you're doing in Worth or what you're doing in the protege, you're continuously having to learn skills, whether it's how to fight, how to shoot a gun. With Worth, you're worried, about factually throwing out these numbers and knowing what you're talking about. You learn skills, and you don't just forget them because a movie wraps or you stop filming. So I'm curious, what is the coolest skill that you still have today simply because you played a character who needed to know how to do it?
Wow, good question. Actually, sadly for me, sometimes I do actually forget them. That's what's really sad. There are certain things. That's a good question, man. That's a good question. What did I have to learn? Well, I had been kind of starting to play hockey at a late age, and I made a movie where I was a hockey player. So I just started, but I really had to learn for that movie. That's how I learned how to play. I was in my 30s. So, and then I fell in love. Then I started playing in leagues. And hockey's such an unbelievably great game. That's a hard game to learn later on because little kids now start skating and playing when they're 4. And for a lot of years, I played in leagues, and I haven't played for a long time now, and I miss it. So that was one thing I don't know if I could lace them up and go out and play now. I don't think I could, but
Not with that attitude, sir.
that's right. Not with that attitude, exactly right. I gotta shift that attitude.
Mr. Keaton, this was truly an absolute honor to be able to
Thank
talk
you.
to you. That was a really great interview. I really appreciate you taking the time to fit me into your schedule.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.